If you've looked into investing in real estate, then you've probably heard that mobile home parks are a great investment, and you might even be thinking about investing in one yourself. After you start looking around, you might start wondering, is it still worth investing in mobile home parks in 2022? Although they may seem like a sexy niche property type, there are some real reasons to consider the headwinds in the industry and determine if you should be buying them this year. You probably know that I've been investing in mobile home parks since 2015, but man, has there been a huge change in the industry and in real estate in general since then. Most mobile home parks made at least a little bit of financial sense to buy back then. These days, investors are chasing these so aggressively that pricing has just gotten way out of hand. So much so that you have to sort through hundreds of deals in order to find one that makes any sort of decent return. Hey, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, why not? It's completely free, and I'm putting out content every week that's going to help you with your investing. If you don't click subscribe, you won't know about it. And while you're at it, click the like button so that YouTube knows that this is a topic that you're interested in. So the obvious concern with mobile home parks and all real estate assets right now is the pricing that these are trading at. Brokers are listing properties completely on pro forma, and they're not leaving much room for investors to make any money. Sellers are so aggressive on their ask prices right now because brokers and buyers have gotten them overly confident to where their ask prices no longer need to correlate with any sort of return. Interest rates are helping fuel the fire because investors have way cheaper money than they've ever had before, and lenders are more aggressive in wanting to lend on mobile home parks today. But they're not easy to find. So it's going to take some serious direct marketing to the owners and relationship building in order to find those deals where the seller's willing to actually leave a little meat on the bone for you. It really becomes a high volume game, so if you think that you're going to look at 5 to 10 deals and find one, you probably won't. There's no question that our country is becoming more socialist in nature. And it's not just Washington, D.C. It's at every level of government all the way up, and that creates a tough business and investment climate. Different forms of rent control are sneaking their way into more markets, and this creates challenges when you're trying to turn around a property that's had historically under market rents. Local courts have stopped enforcing laws that protect landowners, and they're not enforcing lease contracts. So when someone stops paying, they're letting them get away with it at the cost of the landlord. Zoning and code enforcement departments are finding ways in order to stop your mobile home park as a use because they want to see something else where your park is. Some sheriff's departments are even refusing to process the writs when the courts do approve the evictions. And that's either because of COVID policies or because they don't understand the laws themselves. Ultimately, choosing to go into business and become a real estate investor has its risks. One of the biggest risks that I don't see getting better anytime soon is government policy and the enforcement of laws that are on the books. When considering any investment, you need to first determine what you feel the economy is going to look like in the future. If you think the economy is going to be strong and people will have a lot of money to put towards housing, then you might want to consider luxury housing options. If you think the economy is going to be weak and people will have a lot less money to pay for housing, then you probably want to consider investing in affordable housing options instead. Here's the thing, we've had a strong economy and job market for an abnormally long period of time. And that's mostly because of the government and the Fed manipulating things. This has brought us far past the normal 7-year cycle. So with all the printing that's happened, I really wouldn't be surprised if we went into a full-out recession in the next couple years. Being that mobile home parks are typically the lowest cost provider of non-subsidized housing, and they're still the least expensive form of home ownership, I think that owning these assets is a really smart move. I really don't think that there's going to be a decrease in demand of affordable housing anytime soon. Although artificially low interest rates are a big reason why pricing has gotten out of hand, great financing terms are a reason why you might want to consider investing in mobile home parks as well. Not so long ago, lenders didn't really understand mobile home parks and there weren't a lot of lending options out there. Today, local banks all the way up to institutional lenders and even government-backed loans want to lend on these properties. Banks are offering debt that often include improvement dollars, and institutional lenders are offering long-term, like 10-year to fully amortized non-recourse loans, which makes them very attractive, cheap leverage on your investment dollars. Although lending might tighten in a recession, the long-term outlook for lending on mobile home parks is really good. I've been talking about inflation for a couple years now. I even did an episode back in mid-2021 about it. In that episode, I was warning that inflation was coming and how to take advantage of it utilizing mobile home park investing. Double-digit inflation is here now, and it'll probably only get worse for the foreseeable future. Mobile home parks are generally a great hedge against inflation, and the value of these assets are going to continue to grow. Sitting on cash, earning little to no return is a losing strategy. It's crucial to make sure that your rents keep up with inflation so that you can take advantage of this silent wealth builder. When industries consolidate, massive changes happen, and the mobile home park industry has been consolidating for several years now. Larger, more professional investors have started coming in and buying up these properties from the longtime owners that have really run these more like lifestyle businesses than efficient investment vehicles. Since there's a lot of professional operators coming in and fixing the deferred maintenance and implementing industry best practices in these communities, it's improving the reputation of the property type as a whole, and this is then bringing in a lot more investor confidence. This is making demand even higher for an asset that has such a limited supply already. Since there's a limited supply of mobile home parks and very few being developed each year, the process of consolidation is only going to take so long before all the communities that we're going to trade hands do. When this is over, their performance will be brought to their full potential and their values are going to be so much higher. Taking advantage of this window of opportunity is where many investors are going to create crazy amounts of wealth. So is it still worth investing in mobile home parks in 2022? I think so. But you're going to have to be willing to work really hard to buy properties at prices that are going to allow you to still cash flow well. Overpaying and having cash flow issues could ultimately be what causes you to lose this asset, or at best, you earn very low returns. Drop in the comments below whether you think it's still worth investing in mobile home parks and why. If you think it's still worth it, check out this next episode where I give you the 5 steps that you need to take in order to buy your first mobile home park.